So this is question 1a, part 2, about the beetles. The researchers have returned 6 months later. They are returning to the same site. They already captured these beetles. They are not going to find the same individuals. They are looking for different individuals, and they're looking 6 months later. So the season in which they're collecting will be different. So because the season is different, so you've got a reason they might have migrated. Because the season is different, they might be in a different stage of their life cycle. Some people said that they had died, but if they've died, we have to say a reason why they've died. And if the adults are dead, presumably there's eggs or there's something to continue. So this would link to life cycle. So we really need to mention the reason. We could say that resources were low, or perhaps there was competition. So this would also lead to perhaps migration. But again, we're giving a reason. Or it could have been sampling bias. Perhaps the first time the researchers went out, they did a really thorough study. And the second time, perhaps it was cold and wet and they didn't search as hard. Or perhaps it was just luck. The first time, if you look at species D, they only found one. Maybe the chances of finding that were very unlikely and they were just lucky the first time. So we go back to study our sites over and over again to try to get the actual pattern, because we will have random things. So these are the main reasons: migration, life cycle, resources and competition leading to migration, and sampling bias. Okay, for question 1b, now we're going to identify an abiotic factor, and then in B part 2, we want to describe a method. So if I pick rainfall for my abiotic factor, that's absolutely correct. I might also pick temperature. Okay, I could put soil temperature. There's lots of variables I could measure. But I want to make sure that in part 2, I know how to measure it. So first of all, let's identify the instrument. So for rainfall, I would use a rain gauge. For any kind of temperature, I would use a thermometer. Okay, notice it's for 2 marks. So now I need to make sure, if I'm going to do this accurately, perhaps it needs to be reliable. So take repeated measures in different areas of my site. It needs to be accurate. So I'm making sure that my thermometer perhaps is calibrated, or that my rain gauge is the right width to capture a representative sample of water, so that I can actually calculate the rainfall over a given period of time. It needs to be precise. So you don't need to say all of these things, but you do need to say something. And I would think the best thing is sort of this repeated measures after you've said the name of the instrument that you're going to use. Okay, and part C, we have to distinguish between a mutualistic relationship and a parasitic one. This word distinguish, we need to be able to tell the difference. What can we do to tell the difference between them? In a mutualistic relationship, both species receive some benefit. In a parasitic relationship, one species receives a benefit and the other species receives a loss, but it does not die, or it usually does not die.